Hello, YouTube! Welcome in. We are hanging out with some Dungeon Dad, and we are learning about this Beholder's stupid cousin. The dumb boy, the dumb eye man. I know nothing about what we're going to be getting into, but anyway. Rude. But yes, let's get to it.
It's the first week of April, and that means it's time to talk about some absolutely insane Dungeons and Dragons lore.
I guess 2 months ago that did happen, yes. Yes, that was 2 months ago.
Today, we're talking about the GORBEL, a creature who is simultaneously obscure and forgotten, but also extremely well documented, which is a very rare occurrence.
He looks so stupid. It's great. Is he just kind of standing on a dude's back? That's amazing.
In a game like D&D. Eagle-eyed viewers might notice that this creature kind of looks like a beholder if it took up eating glue. And that's not...
Like me. You guys might look at me and be like, hey, that looks like Rimuru if he started eating glue.
Not entirely wrong. Originating in the good old Fiend folio for 1st edition D&D, the GORBEL has some of the funniest art in this entire book. I genuinely love the old art spreads from this era of the game a lot, but there is just something about the vacant stare of this three-eyed goobus contrasted with the abject terror of the man it's latching onto that hits exactly right for me. It would return in 2nd edition as part of the Fiend folio compendium appendix, where it gets yet another stellar piece of artwork. While much more detailed than the last one, the stockiness of its legs really...
It's so good. It's so doofy looking, just like, hi guys.
give the GORBEL here such a special quality. But what the hell even is this thing? Well...
He's about to take over the guy's mind, but he's getting a hit of the guy's trauma.
Like the Death Kiss, Gazer, or Spectator, the GORBEL is a beholderkin, a creature that is related to, but not a beholder. They are small creatures who drift through the air, though unlike true beholders, they don't have a bunch of devastating magic.
Wait, they drift through the air, but they have trunk-like legs? Why?
Potential lurking behind their eyes. Instead, they have 2 claws, which, as the Fiend folio image so helpfully demonstrates, can dig into just about anything or anyone. Once a GORBEL has latched onto it,
a curious creature, the GORBEL appears as a red globe of thin, rubbery material about 3 meters in diameter. Oh, 3 inches in diameter. Sorry, my bad. Its high armor class is due to its high dexterity. Wow, they're dexterous? With a tiny mouth, 6 tiny eyes on short retractable stalks, equally spaced around the upper hemisphere, and 2 clawed legs, which it uses to move at remarkable speed. That's incredible. When attacking, which it usually does, it attempts to attach itself to its victim's back with its claws. A successful initial hit means it has done so, delivering 1 to 4 points, hit points of damage. Thereafter, it cannot be detached until dead, and it automatically hits the victim each round for 1 to 6 points of clawing damage. Initially, it attacks as a creature of 2 hit dice. That is incredible. That's incredible. Just like he grabs on and just does not let go and is just tearing you up. It is a violent little shit. Oh my goodness.
Target, according to the book, it's nearly impossible to wrench it off. So you just kind of end up with this floating...
Wait, I just saw something there. Like, in that 3rd sentence, a hit with a blunt weapon will not harm the GORBEL, but a hit with a pointed or edged weapon causes it to hurt.
So you just kind of end up with this floating ball of eye stalks clawing.
So you can't bonk it off. You'd have to like stab and cut at it and pry it off. Okay.
Into you until either it dies or you do. The GORBEL flies around by controlling a...
The GORBEL's body is full of lighter than air gas. It moves by means of limited telekinesis. They aren't obvious to casual inspection, but the GORBEL's ears are tympanic membranes to either side of its mouth.
Helium like a gas within its body. It's got several valves.
Boneless limbs can move in any direction, so a GORBEL that appears to have a broken arm is merely reaching backwards. Wait, they're completely boneless? Huh. Best chicken legs in the area. GORBEL skin is highly sensitive to air pressure, so even blinded and deafened, they can sense movement within 50 feet. Jesus.
That allow it to let off gas in order to push it in any...
The claws are stronger than they look. Once a Gorbel has latched onto a victim, it causes 1d6 points of damage each round until the Gorbel or the victim dies. Jesus. I want a pizza. Make it boneless. Pretty much. The Gorbel's rubbery skin membrane allows certain gases, those responsible for the rotten egg smell, to escape from the body. You mean sulfur?
Direction. This is
So it
kind of a fun
stinks.
little detail, but it also has two major implications. The first being that according to its original lore entry, the gases exhausted by a Gorbel smell like sulfur and rotten eggs, which not only means that this is a D&D monster who uses farts to navigate.
That's great. Oh, fun fact about propane, that egg smell you get from propane is actually added there so you can actually smell it. Otherwise, it's basically scentless.
The smell produced by a Gorbel usually gives its presence away long before the creature is spotted. The second thing you need to know about this is...
Okay, guys, we need to... Wait, did anyone hear that? Oh, what smells like rotten eggs? Who farted? Was it you, Gortash? Oh, not me. What the hell's going on? What the hell is that thing over there? Oh my god!
that the gases kept inside the creature are crazy flammable and will ignite when they make contact with oxygen, meaning that when a Gorbel dies, it explodes into a ball of fire. So while this goofy looking beach ball of a monster latching onto someone in the party might seem
oh no. Oh no.
kind of funny at first, it becomes a lot more serious when you realize that the thing hanging onto the fighter's back is more or less a living grenade. Now aside from the two monster books I mentioned,
so it's either going to rip you to shreds or die trying, but if it dies trying, you then get hit by a fireball. That's incredible.
Already, the Gorbel would appear in a few other places over the years, mostly in random encounter tables present in adventure or setting books, which is how we know, canonically, Gorbels can be found in the sewers of Waterdeep. They would also get a brief mention in the AD&D monster lore book about beholders, I, Tyrant, which is not only a hilarious title for a book about beholders, but also contains straight up misinformation. In I, Tyrant, on page 17, there is a short entry with some information on beholder versions, including the Gorbel. To quote the source material directly, this sad sack of the beholderkin races looks much like a beholder. However, its eye stalks possess no special abilities and actually end in claws, which is just straight up incorrect. But beyond that, there just wasn't enough interest to print the Gorbel anywhere else, is what I thought. But it turns out that they managed to sneak their way into an issue of Dragon magazine right.
I love these little guys. Next time I run a D&D game, I want to try and incorporate them somehow.
Before third edition was released. In the April 2000 issue of Dragon magazine, the Gorbel were given a full-on ecology article spanning 7 pages, including multiple pieces of brand new artwork, a diagram of the creature's physiology, and a bunch of new information. The ecology of the Gorbel.
Yes, I could have paused and read all that, but I don't think we want me to read an entire section of a creature's documentary. Or ecology or whatever.
Full of Hot Air was written by Jonathan M. Richards, and the bulk of it is a short story about a group of monster hunters hired to save the countryside from mutant killer beholders. The story itself is pretty fun, and we get all these splash images of the Gorbel mixed throughout, which are great. I especially love this one on page 83 of a Gorbel exploding while one of the characters looks on with an expression I can only describe as ruh-roh, but it's not.
That's amazing.
Not just fluff. There are a ton of footnotes in here with some great information on these weird little freaks. Based on their intelligence score in the previous books, we know that Gorbels are kind of dumb. But this...
Wait. What did that say? Okay, let me go through this again. Damage attack, 1 to 4 or 1 to 6. Special attacks, nil. Special defenses, nil. Magic resistance, standard. Intelligence, none. Just none. Alignment, neutral with chaotic tendencies. Size, small, 3 inches diameter. Psionic abilities, nil, except for limited telekinesis in order to move himself around. Attack and defense modes, nil. Level XP value, 1132 plus 2 per hit point. What is that math? Oh my goodness. Someone do that math. What would that be? What would that be if it had, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hit points?
This book gives us a more complete picture of just how
that gas spore! Another one.
How dumb they are, which is hella. They're on the same level as most unintelligent beasts, and they are omnivorous, so they just kind of drift around and consume whatever they can get their grubby little paw.
They basically bump into things, and it's like, oh, that's food now. Nom, 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 nom. Nope, that was a rock. Nom, nom, nom. From Futurama, the gas spore? No, the gas spore is a creature in 5e. It's a plant that kind of looks like a beholder, but they have 1 hit point. They're large-sized creatures, and if they, bump into things, they explode into gas spores. It's pretty great. From the Central Bureaucracy.
On. Much like the noble Brontosaurus, they move in herds, which means encountering one typically leads to another and another. Because they're not immune to the explosions of their kin, if they happen to be traveling as a large group and one of them detonates, there's a pretty good chance for a chain reaction to trigger and cause all of them to explode.
Oh no. I love it. I love these kinds of encounters where it's like, it'll be over extremely quick, but you are taking damage. Like, bad shit's about to happen.
However, we also learned from this article that Gorbels reproduce asexually with little pods that are housed inside of their bodies.
Wait.
And when they explode, it essentially activates these little podlings who will be scattered throughout the area like seeds, and after a few days, form the next generation of Gorbel.
So they actually reproduce by explosion. They're like pine cones. What a great idea for a trap room, right? And it's a resetting trap room. It just resets every few days, but like, this is amazing. I love this so much.
This article also gives us some insight into how the Gorbel interact with the world around them, and some of the most insane shit I've ever heard when it comes to how people have tried to weaponize them, which I will get into in a minute here. But it needs to be stated just how unlikely it is for this article to actually exist in the first place. The 3rd edition D&D core rulebooks came out in August of 2000, which was only 4 months after this article saw print, and the Gorbel were never officially confirmed.
I miss the 3.5 books. They look like tomes. They look like actual wizard tomes or something like that. And then we got into 4th edition, and then they were like, you know what? We're just not going to do that anymore. We're just going to print them to look like, I don't know, books, like modern books or something like that with cool art on the front, which is neat and all that. But I really like these old designs.
Converted into 3rd edition or 3.5. So the fact that they were given a multi-page spread like this with tons of new information and artwork is absolutely insane. Though it was the April edition, and as we all know, the April issue of Dragon Magazine is where all the heat is at when it comes to unhinged articles and insane D&D monsters and some of the strangest world building you can find.
What the hell is that? What the hell is 32 there? Revenge of the Sheens. You can't keep a good machine down, let alone the bad ones. More powerful foes from the machine cysts. I don't like that combination of words. Hi, Choco.
Speaking of world building, I gotta give a massive shout out to this week's sponsor, World Anvil.
Hey.
Bet you didn't see that coming. If you haven't heard of World Anvil by now, let me lift up that rock you must be under and show you what's up. World Anvil is an amazing toolkit for GMs and players alike with tons of features to help you manage your D&D campaign. It's got interactive maps and tools for building your own setting, or simply organizing the one that you're playing in. It's got a massive library of stat blocks for over 100 TTRPGs, and it gives you the tools to create and organize stat blocks for yourself. If you're a GM, you can even set up a campaign world and choose which...
Guys, I think after we're done this, we got to draw a Gorbel. We have to. We have to draw our own little Gorbel, little gremlin. That'll be attached to the video.
Parts of it your players get to see, so that way you can keep all of your secrets safe and well organized with a convenient way to share information to those players when the time is right. And thanks to features like automatic linking, family trees, and timelines, you can spend more time actually creating cool ideas for your campaign and less time digging through binders stuffed to the gills with scraggled campaign notes. I swear that sometimes I can't even read my own handwriting, so if you're like me in that regard, this might...
I gave up on using my own handwriting ages ago. I'm all digital, baby. I'm going to be so screwed once the apocalypse hits.
Might be something you want to check out. Right now, World Anvil is offering Dungeon Dad viewers 51% off their yearly subscription with code DungeonDad. So if you want to see for your...
This is good if you want to go beyond world building as a hobby. Oh, 100% agreed. Yeah, like, I've always wanted to get into like World Anvil, but I could never like commit to doing like world building too terribly much in order to be able to be like, yeah, no, let's we'll go and do some real in-depth world building. I've always been bad at it. Or you are really invested in your world. Yeah, exactly. So I've never really, and because it's a subscription, it's another thing that's being like, hey, can I get some monthly money from you? It's like, I don't think I can. I mean, you can do everything in this. Everything that you can do in World Anvil, you can do with a couple other free programs, such as Google Excel, Notepad, and all that fun stuff. I mean, like, we've been doing that for ages without this program. We can continue to do it. However, it is a much better program and very concise. So if you can afford it, go for it. It's useful. And, you know, use the Dungeon Dad discount code, because that'll help you.
How World Anvil can help you up your GMing game, head over to the link down below and start exploring for yourself. Thank you once more to World Anvil for bringing us here to talk about the goofy goober that is the Gorbel. Speaking of which, let's talk turkey.
Goober.
And by turkey, I mean meat. And by meat, I mean stats. The Gorbel is not exactly a high CR creature.
No.
In 5e, it clocks in with a CR of 1.
No, this is a creature that is literally there in order to die and be an absolute nuisance. It is not a boss monster. It is not going to be there in order to TPK your party. Actually, it might, but it is literally just there in order to be a minion and be a problem. That's it.
1/2, which puts it in the extremely rare group of monsters I've covered on this channel that have a CR below 1. Their stat block is not super complicated, as you can imagine.
Death Burst. The Gorbel burst when it dies. Constitution saving throw. Oh, it's a con save. DC 10. Each creature in a 10-foot emanation originating from the Gorbel. Failure. The target takes 13 or 3d8 fire damage. On success, they take half damage. This is a CR half. This means that literally everything that's not a fighter, paladin, or barbarian, and actually even some fighters and paladins, will just get straight up dropped by this thing on an average roll. That's insane. Thank God it's a Constitution saving throw, but that also means your rogues, your archers, your rogues, your wizards and casters and all them, they're going to get leveled by these little guys. Oh my goodness. Melee attack roll 5, reach 5, hit 5, 1d4 plus 3 piercing damage, and the target has the grappled condition, escape DC 15. The target's move speed is not reduced from being grappled in this way, and as long as the Gorbel is grappling the Gorbel moves with the target if the target moves. By dexterity saving throw, one creature grappled by the Gorbel, failure, 1d6 plus 3 piercing damage. Oh, so he, instead of making it so that it's just like ripping you apart, it just like grabs on, and it's just... I'm impressed that he actually gave it an escape DC at all, because like that means the initial lore just kind of like goes away with it. Interesting.
But it is.
I would at least give the targets like disadvantage on the checks. Granted, it is a high save for low levels. Players like a death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah, pretty much.
Fun. Their only action is to make a claw attack, and if that hits you, you're grappled big time. I gave them what is essentially expertise in grappling, so
oh wait, I saw something at the bottom here, so maybe that'll change up something.
DC to escape their grab is a 15, which is crazy high for a CR 1/2 monster. They also have a bite, which they can do.
Struggle. Trigger. So this is a reaction. Struggle is on a trigger. A creature of the Gorbel is grappling, escapes. Response. The Gorbel makes a claw attack against the triggering creature. There it is. So if you do get it off of you, it will then attempt to grab you again. So if you actually like push it off or push the target away from it, it will just attack. It'll make another attack on you again. If it hits, you're re-grappled. There it is. Okay, that makes things a lot better.
It was a bonus action, though it only targets a creature being grappled by them. I also made this bite attack a saving throw instead of an attack roll because I like the visual that it creates of someone flailing around to try and avoid being bitten by this thing while it's got their claws dug into them. I also gave it a spicy little reaction called Struggle, where if you do manage to yank this thing off of your buddy, it can immediately try to grab back on. It's definitely still possible to break free, but it's not gonna be easy, and if
No, these things are like hell-bent on holding on and just nomming your head.
of course, I gave it the Death Burst trait as seen on the Gas Spore and all the
Yeah, the gas spore. Large plant, unaligned, armor class 5, hit points 1. It has a 10-foot fly speed. It's immune to poison. It has condition immunities, blah, 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 but it's got a death burst. The gas spore explodes when it drops to 0 hit points. It has 1 hit point. Literally anything will pop it. Each creature within 20 feet of it must succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or take 3d6 poison damage and become infected with a disease on a failed save. Creatures immune to the poison condition are immune to the disease. Spores invade an infected creature's system, killing the creature in a number of hours equal to 1d12 plus the creature's Constitution score, unless the disease is removed. In half that time, the creature becomes poisoned for the rest of the duration. After the creature dies, 2d4 tiny gas spores will that grow to full size in 7 days. So basically, yeah, it reproduces by infecting you. They're giant mushrooms. They're giant mushrooms.
So that when it dies, it does so in a great ball of fire. Something else worth noting is that Gorbels have rubbery skin that makes them immune to bludgeoning damage, so if you smack one of these things with a mace or
they're Luffy!
a quarterstaff or a baseball bat, it's just gonna bounce right off and probably make a sound akin to punting a dodgeball. And
amazing. That's amazing. If I have these things, I need to make sure I have like a little sound system or a little sound cue, so whenever somebody goes and punches it in the face or hits it with a hammer or something like that, I just play that little sound effect, just
that's really all there is to talk about when it comes to their actual mechanics. However, I did promise to fill you in on some deeply cursed lore about these things, and I intend to uphold my end of the bargain.
Please.
In the short story written for their ecology article, a bunch of townsfolk see these Gorbels in their fields chowing down on their crops, and immediately the townsfolk go into panic mode because they think that this is a herd of beholders. I mean, these people have probably never seen a beholder before, but they know the legends and the stories, so they immediately run off to tell the marshal, who then goes to ask the monster hunters from the local guild for help. At first, the monster hunters are like, dude, you said how many beholders? A dozen? We'll get murdered for sure. But then one of them has a thought and is
no, we're not coming through there with this. No, we're not doing that.
Pretty much positive that what is being described is not a pack of beholders because that doesn't match their behavior and it's probably something else. So they take the job and go off to deal with the beholders. Long story short, they kill them all, not without incident mind you, and they tell the townsfolk that they're safe from the beholders now, never actually telling them what the creatures were, and of course, collecting a massive reward as the heroes.
Of course, because if they let them think that they're, they killed a bunch of beholders, that means that they are much bigger heroes. They now killed some of the most vile and terrifying creatures known to the realm. However, they know damn well these were not beholders. These were stupid little shits. Then they were explosive. They were unpleasant. Oh, I know exactly where this is going. This is not... bad days.
Who saved the town by cutting down a dozen beholders. Truly iconic party behavior. However, in the footnotes, it explains that people have tried with varying degrees of success to harness Gorbels in the past as a resource. Their hides, apparently, make for great armor, but they're
I don't know if this actually, if he's actually continuing the story there, but we remember that the Gorbels reproduce by exploding. So after you kill them, they explode and send their little ones all over the damn place, meaning that you kill 12. Well, those 12 might have actually just sent out, I don't know, probably 1d6 each little Gorbellings out into the field. And within a week or so, now you have up to 6 dozen of these little buggers. Oh man, this is like a disease.
especially useful for crafting balloons which can contain gas. So if you wanted to build, say, an airship or a hot air balloon, harvesting the hides of God knows how many Gorbels might be an option. The problem is, of course, that when a Gorbel dies, it explodes, but there is a solution to the problem, and it's super f***ed up. Originally, rules as written, the Gorbel only explodes if it is killed by piercing or slashing damage from a weapon, or any kind of damage caused by spells. And since they're immune to bludgeoning damage, that's basically just all damage, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, it does leave a window for mundane poison and effects like blood loss. So in the article, it suggests that a good way to harvest the hide of a Gorbel is to throw a net over them to capture them and either kill them with poison or cut off their eye stalks so that way the eyes can be harvested and the creature, of course, will bleed to death. And like...
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I guess you could do that. But also, what do you even mean by this? Something else I should mention is that the gas within these creatures is apparently a very valuable reagent for making potions of fire breathing or anything else that requires explosive vapor. And because the gas is what makes them float, if you slay a Gorbel by letting it bleed out, you can tie a string around it and carry it around like a balloon until it starts to degrade, which usually happens after about 2 days.
Oh, that's horrifying. That's horrifying. Here you go, little Timmy. We got you a balloon. It smells like old cheese.
See, when I criticize the new monster manuals for not containing enough lore, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
I agree.
This all just makes me think of a Cruella de Vil-esque villain who is just out here trying to collect 10,000 Gorbel hides to fuel the creation of a new super Zeppelin or something. Also, it needs to be said, all of that, including the balloon thing, is in the article. And another thing mentioned by the article is what can only be described as a straight up war crime, which is taking captive Gorbels and fastening
I'm Canadian, you have my attention.
them to catapult ammunition so that when you are laying siege to an enemy's fortress, when the boulders thrown by your siege engine smashes against the wall, they'll explode.
That's horrifying. I love it so much. I love it so much.
It even goes as far as to say that if they don't explode, that's okay, because now you can just fire an arrow at the Gorbel and it'll set it off. No worries. So while this creature may be kind of a silly little guy to encounter in a dungeon, or even a serious problem if a herd of them moves into town, never forget that you can also harness the power of the Gorbel to become a monster person. As per their lore, they are too dumb to speak. However, if you wanted to make one of these guys into an NPC, you could always just have a Gorbel with like a 7 in intelligence who is capable of speech and roll with it that way. Maybe
Hold on. Can I eat your shoulder? Can I eat your shoulder? I'm hungry. I'll bounce, 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 bounce.
after being trapped in a dungeon for who knows how long, it latches on to one of the party members, not to kill them, but to force them to help it escape, promising to let go when the party reaches the outdoors. Clearing the rest of the dungeon with a bomb strapped to your back might not be ideal, but I guess it's better than setting off a bomb right now. And who knows, if it survives and takes a liking to the party, maybe it'll stick around. But
can you help me get out of the dungeon? Okay, I'll let go. I'll let go if you get me out of the. Okay, we'll get you out of the dungeon. Get you out of the dungeon. I like you guys. I'm going to hold on for a bit longer. Can you let go of me, please? No. Let go of me. If you hurt me, I blow up. Don't do it. You're stuck on me, aren't you? Yeah.
However you choose to use this monster, as always, linked in the description down below is my 5th edition conversion of this creature, which contains everything you will need to run this at your game table for free. And of course, also linked below is my Patreon page where you can find the high-res PDF stat block version of this monster, which contains all the same information, but a bit more fanciful presentation is my way of saying thank you so much to those of you who choose to throw a few extra dollars my way to help me keep on doing what I'm doing here. Speaking of patrons, it's time for Patron of the Week. Thank you so much to Dr. Beardface for your prescriptive amount of support, and thank you for watching. Yeah. As always, if there's a monster...
Oh, that's so amazing. Okay, guys, we're taking a little bit of a break from the reactionary stuff. I might have actually plastered this video just above here, so throughout the entire video, but we're gonna draw up a Gorbel now. But anyway, see you guys later. Bye. Hope you liked the picture. Bye. Hey, did you enjoy that? Was it funny? well, come check it out live over on twitch.tv/freeform_art. Make sure you put the _art. We have lots of fun there. We enjoy ourselves, and we want to see you over there. So come on and hang out. See you in a bit.